It is General Leia Organa Saturday evening. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi. Let's play with the latest iteration of Buddha's easy meditation. Much like gym class or PE back in junior high, we will begin with a warm-up, the main event, and then a cool down. Because the view of reality that supports letting go is the first fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path, we will begin with Maha Yoga's wisdom warm-up. Oh, won't you please chant with me? Rather than indulge or controlling tendencies for thought follies of active visualization, emotion, magic, and belief, we could just recite these wise words in harmony with our breathing and allow our subconscious to do the heavy lifting. Let us therefore sidestep the rigidity that confuses metaphors for statements literal, and relax into the flexibility that savors the chance, explaining metaphors as similes. Although this enormous 6-line sentence begins with the word may, this is not a supplication to real or imagined entities. Instead, we are simply using words to guide our intention, to use that which we already know in a strategic way to help us to be better and better at letting go, which, according to neuroscience, is already our birthright. Consider the word circumstances. The Buddha was fond of organizing all that could be perceived in terms of the 4 bases of mindfulness. In Pali, that was known as the Satipatthana. These 4 bases of mindfulness are the circumstantial, the physical, the interpersonal, and the mental. We have evolved to think symbolically. That is why figures of speech are found in every language and every culture. We're going to use the verb melt as a metaphor of impermanence. We're also going to infer the verb absorb as a metaphor of interdependence. And just as a forester might strive to fight fire with fire, we're going to, ironically enough, use self-centeredness to transcend it. Let's chant. May we see how all circumstances or lots could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into this body or form. We now take all these words and compress them into just 6 syllables that we divide between our inhalation and our exhalation. May we feel how all bodies or forms could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into this communication or speech. May we hear our... So what we're going to do is play with these words. These words are not a prayer. What they are is simply a way of influencing our own intention to use that which we've already observed as adults during our entire life in a way to help us to realize our birthright of getting really good at letting go. Let's chant. May we hear how all interpersonal speech could be as impermanent and interdependent as if it could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into this mind. And we take all these words and compress it into just 6 syllables that we divide between our inhalation and our exhalation. Don't worry about the syllable whom, it's simply a symbol of mind. And now we're going to take this one step further. If you're new to Buddhism, it won't take you very long to stumble upon the word empty or emptiness. When viewed literally, it's confusing and breeds both superstitious belief and pseudo-intellectual wackadoodleness. The reason that happens is because it was never meant to be viewed literally. It's always been a figure of speech. So in this page and the page that follows, we're going to ask the musical question. What is a real-world example of a non-graspable, vast empty void? Let's chant. May we feel how all perceiving, emoting, intending, thinking, recalling, and imagining minds could be as impermanent and interdependent as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into our vast empty void. Like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which although tantalizing to the eye could be non-graspable to the hand. So now we take all those words and compress it into just 6 syllables that we divide between our in-breath and our out-breath. Now that our mind is a little bit more limber, it's time for us to turn to the 7th and 8th folds of the Buddha's Eightfold Path that is sometimes described as Hatha Yoga's mindfulness and meditation. And we shall practice this together as a team after approximately 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. Welcome. Let's try that again. For more than 30 years, I spent about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that you won't have to. Welcome, my friends, to meditate like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. So yes, Hatha Yoga is a description of mindfulness and meditation. And Hatha Yoga is supported by Anu Yoga's energy work. Now, there are many flavors of energy work. I found the easiest and most effective is finger position or mudra. oriented energy work. So what we're going to do, what I'm going to show you how to do is how to count on your right hand in a way to keep track of 12 rounds. And a round is just one inhalation and one exhalation. And how to count on your left hand in a way that helps you count or keep track of 8 sets of those 12 rounds. And how to count on your knuckles in such a way as to help you count 4 different collections of those 8 sets of those 12 rounds. Now, this could seem overwhelming. I'm going to move the camera so you can watch my hands. And just bear in mind that as a child, you mastered tying your shoes. You mastered riding your bike. You can master this as well. All that I teach can be mastered if you come to, each live stream every 12 hours or so within a week or two. Despite the blathering of the elitists, the Buddhist path is remarkably easy when it's taught properly. So we're going to rest the great knuckle at the base of our right little finger upon the tip of our left little finger in our lap, and I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. Doing so induces our subtle energies to coalesce at the secret wheel in the region of our bladder. So what I'd like to do right now is angle my camera in such a way you can see my hands. So let's begin with the knuckles. The great knuckle at the base of my right little finger. That's going to rest upon the tip of my left little finger. So now I've got a duplex. So I'm going to touch the tip of my left thumb to the lower set of creases of my left little finger. So we know we're on our first collection and our first set. And with each inhalation, I'm going to advance my thumb. And I want to make sure you can see what's going on. It'll look like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now, to make it easier for you, I'm going to go to jumbo cam real quick. I'm not sure if that's really... Okay, so here we are. So, here's the knuckle work. And we're on our left hand. We're counting the first set. On our right hand, we're prepared, we're poised, we're ready to go to count our first 12 repetitions. And remember, we only advance our right thumb during an inhalation. Got it? Get it? Good. Okay, so I'm going to tap button 9 and move forward. So how do I do that? I'm going to tap here. Now I'm going to have to adjust the camera yet again because that's how life works. So we now return to Ati Yoga, which is mindfulness meditation. The late Tugul Tandap taught that mindfulness was simply watching the play of mind. How does that work? What if there was a special way to notice, in which we did so vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly, in which we did so not from a place of focus, but instead in harm, not from our prefrontal cortex, but instead from our sympathetic nervous system, ensconced within the middle third of our spinal cord. What could we notice? Well, we could notice mind's antics of perception, emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination. How could we do that? What's the most skillful way to do this, that would entail silently and mentally reciting the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation. Then what is meditation? Tulku Chag Dud Tulku taught that meditation is simply relaxing into the nature of mind, or in other words, relaxing in harmony with our exhalation in such a way that caused that which we perceived during our previous inhalation to fleetingly feel less solid, less permanent, and less defining. How do we do that? By silently and mentally reciting the one-syllable verb ease during each exhalation. That helps us to plug into the network of our parasympathetic nervous system, found in both the lower third as well as the upper third of our spinal cord. We now advance our left thumb on our left little finger to our second set of creases. We only advance our right thumb during the inhalation. We advance the left thumb to the first set of creases on the left ring finger. Rest the right knuckle at the base of the right little finger upon the tip of the left little finger. Allow me to remind you how mindfulness works. As you breathe in, you silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this. I can't see that cursor right now. Oh well. Doing so helps us to notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly. Notice what? Notice the antics of mind as it perceives sight, sound, sensations, flavors, scents, and the like, including emotions, intentions, thoughts, memories, and imaginings. And meditation is simply silently and mentally reciting the one-syllable verb ease during your exhalation in such a way that helps you to relax and let go of that which you perceived during your previous inhalation. At least momentarily, at least fleetingly, so that that which we perceived during the previous inhalation feels somewhat less solid, less permanent, and less defining. Now, we've come to our second collection of 8 sets of 12 rounds. So what we're going to do is we are going to rest the great knuckle at the base of our right ring finger upon the tip of our left ring finger. Doing this will cause our subtle energies to coalesce at our navel, or more precisely, our navel region. Now, to keep track of our first of 8 sets, we're going to touch the tip of our left thumb to the first set of creases on our left little finger, while supporting our right hand. During each inhalation, we will advance our right thumb, beginning from the right little finger to the right index finger, accumulating 10, or keeping track of 12 rounds. And enough of this jibber jabbering. Let's go. Now I want to change this so both hands. Is this better? Yeah, that's better, I think. More centered. That's not more centered. Let's go this way. Is this more centered? Yeah, that's more centered. During each inhalation, silently and mentally, we recite the demonstrative pronoun this to facilitate simply noticing. During our exhalation, silently and mentally, we recite the one-syllable verb ease to help us to relax into the non-graspable nature of that which we perceived during our previous inhalation. So now we advance the left thumb to the first set of creases at the bottom of the left index finger. We continue to rest the great knuckle at the base of the right ring finger upon the tip of the left ring finger. And with each inhalation, we advance our right thumb as we count the 12 sets of creases on our 4 right fingers. Give yourself permission to have a learning curve. Practice this once every 12 hours or so, and within a week or two, you will have mastered it. Let's advance our left thumb to the second set of creases on the left index finger. Excellent. We've just completed our second collection. Let's see, what's 8 times 12? I guess that's 96 breaths. We now prepare for our third collection of 96 breaths. To do that, we rest the great knuckle at the base of our right middle finger upon the tip of our left middle finger. Doing this induces our subtle energy to coalesce in our heart region. We now touch the tip of our left thumb to the lower set of creases on our left little finger. Let's advance our left thumb to the second set of creases on our left little finger. Let us rest our great knuckle at the base of our right middle finger on the tip of our left middle finger. During each inhalation, let us advance our right thumb. During each inhalation, silently and mentally, we can recite this. During each exhalation, we can physically relax as best we can whilst silently and mentally reciting the one-syllable verb is. The tip of our left thumb is resting in the first set of creases of our left ring finger. The tip of our left middle finger supporting the great knuckle at the base of our right middle finger. On our right hand, we're counting. During each inhalation, we're advancing our right thumb. During each inhalation, we are being vulnerable to the present moment. As silently and mentally we recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation. We advance the tip of our left thumb up our left ring finger to the second set of creases. Upon the tip of our left middle finger, we rest the great knuckle at the base of our right middle finger. During each inhalation, as silently and mentally we recite the demonstrative pronoun this, we advance the right thumb, beginning at the right little finger. During each exhalation, we relax as best we can while silently and mentally reciting the one-syllable verb ease. During each inhalation, I'm going to adjust this now. I've looked at my fingers enough for anything. Okay. So as we breathe in, silently and mentally, we recite the demonstrative pronoun this, thus facilitating our ability to notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly. Noticing what? Noticing mind's antics, perception, emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination. During our exhalation, we can silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease as we relax as best we can into the non-graspable nature of that which we just perceived. We now come to our fourth collection of 8 sets of 12 rounds, or in other words, our fourth collection of 96 rounds. To keep track of this, we're going to rest the great knuckle at the base of our right index finger on the tip of our left index finger in our lap. Doing so is going to induce our subtle energies to coalesce at our crown. What if mindfulness was simply a very special way of noticing? Noticing vulnerably, gently. Noticing vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly. Noticing what? Noticing mind's antics of perception. You know, seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, smelling, and the like, including emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination. One of the most efficient way to do this was to silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation. And what if meditation was simply relaxing in harmony with our exhalation in such a way as to cause that which we perceived during our previous inhalation to fleetingly feel a little bit less solid, a little bit less permanent, a little bit less defining. And what if the best way to do that was simply to silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during each exhalation? So mindfulness and meditation are as simple as coordinating the silent and mental recitation of this and ease with our inhalation and our exhalation as we allow our sympathetic nervous system to notice and our parasympathetic nervous system to release. So together as a team, let us perform our first, our first 12 rounds. We'll keep track on our right hand, advancing the thumb during each inhalation, advancing the thumb during each inhalation's recitation of this. And remember, we keep track of our 8 sets of those 12 rounds on our left hand. First set, second set, third set, fourth set, fifth set, sixth set, seventh set, eighth set. And remember, as we're doing that, the great knuckle at the base of our right index finger is resting upon the tip of our left index finger in our lap. Now, is this a little bit complicated? It is, but repetition is the mother of skill. Come to these live streams once every 12 hours for a week or two, and you will find that you could have mastered this entire system. Good evening, welcome aboard. What if the essence of mindfulness was to notice in a very special way? To notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly. To notice what? To notice mind's antics of perception. Seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, smelling, and the like, including emotion, intention, or emoting, intending, reasoning, recalling, and imagining. And what if the most efficient way to do all of this was to simply silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation, thus tapping into our sympathetic nervous system, which is already designed to do these things. Or, sorry, not designed, but has already evolved to do these things. What if meditation was just relaxing into our exhalation in such a way as to cause all that we had perceived during our previous inhalation to fleetingly feel a little bit less solid, a little bit less permanent, a little bit less defining? What if by silently and mentally reciting the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation, we're able to enlist the help of our parasympathetic nervous system to do all that? So we just concluded 4 sets of 96 rounds of mindfulness and meditation. Mindfulness is always silent because it takes place during the inhalation. But we just practiced 4 sets of 96 rounds of silent meditation. Now we're going to shift gears to the mantra meditation. And so let's begin by exploring one explanation of the meaning of Shakyamuni's mantra. Shakyamuni is one of the many names given to the historical Buddha. Please chant with me. With whom we invoke the archetype of the Moony Wise One, Moony Wise One. Maha greatly wise one, Moony, yea, of the Shaka Soha, wishing enlightenment for all. So this is not a prayer, this is just saying, hey, there's this really empowering archetype, and wouldn't it be cool if all beings everywhere was wise and loving, or experienced the wisdom and love communicated by this archetype? I would imagine if that happened, there would be significantly less sexism, racism, homophobia, classism, fascism, jingoism, and genocide. But that's just me. So how does this mantra meditation work? During each inhalation, silently and mentally we could recite relaxing into this. And this is whatever we spontaneously notice during our inhalation, whether we are noticing the external or whether we notice the external or the internal, the physical or the mental, the pleasurable or the painful, the interesting or the boring, the glorious or the grotesque. What do we do with that which we notice? We do two things. As we exhale, we physically relax as best we can, while striving to chant this 12-syllable mantra 3 times per breath. When we do this, we can keep track on our right hand. Each finger can represent 1 breath. Each set of creases can represent 1 repetition, for a total of 12. Let's dig in. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa. 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 So we just completed our first of 9 sets of 12 repetitions of the 12-syllable mantra. By the time we've completed the 9th set, we will have accumulated 108 repetitions, which ain't bad. For the first 5 sets, we're going to practice mantra meditation. And for the final 4 sets, we're going to practice mantra loving kindness. So, to keep track of our second set of 12 rounds, we can rest the great knuckle at the base of our right index finger upon the tip of our left index finger in our lap. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa. 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 We come to our third collection of 5 rounds. To keep track of it, we can rest the great knuckle at the base of our right middle finger upon the tip of our left middle finger in our lap. Oops, that was odd. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Esawa 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 And now we come to our fourth collection of 12 rounds, where we rest the great knuckle at the base of our right ring finger upon the tip of our left ring finger in our lap. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Esawa 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 We keep track of our fifth collection of 12 rounds of 12-syllable mantra by resting the great knuckle at the base of our right little finger upon the tip of our left little finger in our lap. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Esawa 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 Muni Muni Ma Muni Esawa Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Esawa Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Esawa And as promised, after collecting 5 sets of mantra meditation, we now turn our attention to Mahayoga's compassionate cooldown, or mantra loving kindness, because loving kindness comprises 50% of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. Oops, look at that. Let's see if we can't fix that. Let's see if I pull this in a little bit. Together. Rather than indulge controlling tendencies for thought follies of active visualization, emotion, magic, and belief. We could just recite these kind words in harmony with our breathing and allow our subconscious to do the heavy lifting. Let us therefore such that the rigidity that confuses metaphors such statements literal, and relax into the flexibility that savors the chance explaining metaphors as similes. As we prepare for our sixth collection of mantra recitation, let us continue to rest the great knuckle at the base of our right little finger upon the tip of our left little finger in our lap. May we be a font of blessing for all upon who we think or all who think of us. Together. May all minds of all beings know be as peaceful and enlightened as the mind of a real or imagined Buddha symbolized by a tikle one syllable zero bija mantra. We now take all these words and coalesce them into merely 6 syllables that we're going to divide between our inhalation and our exhalation. We're now going to blend this with mantra recitation. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesawa, Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesawa, Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesawa. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesawa, Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesawa, Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesawa. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesawa, Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesawa, Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesawa. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesawa, Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesawa, Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesawa. Allow me to remind you that the mental morality of kind intention is the second fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. To keep track of our 7th repetition of our 7th collection of 12 rounds of mantra recitation. Let us rest the great knuckle at the base of our right ring finger upon the tip of our left ring finger in our lap. May we be a font of blessing, all we listen to, speak to, or speak of, and for all who listen to us, or speak to us, or speak of us. May all relationships, all speech of all beings know be as joyfully loving as a real or imagined Buddha speech symbolized by a multisyllabic mantra. We need to take all these words and coalesce them into 6 syllables that we divide between our inhalation and our exhalation. We now blend this intention with mantra recitation. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa, 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 Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa, 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 Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa. We can keep track of our 8th set of 12 repetitions of the 12-syllable mantra. By resting the great knuckle at the base of our right middle finger upon the tip of our left middle finger in our lap. May we be a font of blessing for all who we touch, for all who touch us. May all bodies or forms of all beings so enjoy the beautiful health represented by Buddha statuary, depicting the blissful body of a real or imagined Dharma and archetype of enlightenment such as Shakyamuni. We now take all these words and coalesce them into just 6 syllables that we divide between our inhalation and our exhalation. We now take this intention and blend it with our mantra recitation. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa, Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa, Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa, Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa, Om 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 Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa, Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa, Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Yesuwa. Allow me to remind you that the physical morality of kind conduct is the 4th fold of the Buddha's 8-fold path. To keep track of our 9th and final collection of 12 rounds of mantra recitation, We can rest the great knuckle, the base of our right index. Oopsie. We can rest the great knuckle, the base of our right index finger, upon the tip of our left index finger in our lap. May we be a font of blessing for all who we see or who see us. May all circumstances, all lots of all beings know health, the safe fortune, or boon. As a Buddha's real or imagined, paratas, perlando, vanti. We now take all these words and compress them into 6 syllables, which we could divide between our inhalation and our exhalation. We now blend this with our mantra work. Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Sawa 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 Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Sawa. The circumstantial morality of kind commerce is the 5th fold of the Buddha's 8-fold path. I hope you found this practice to be beneficial. And if you feel that I've earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 10.5 hours, I would very much like to return to lead tomorrow's early meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the force be with you always.